got the knowledge in store. Oh yeah, Alan Lang, watch him chuckle the flare. Movie and TV show reviews that you need. Film threats on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film threat.
Welcome everyone. I'm Chris Gore, and I'm late. Today on the show, we'll talk Elio, lots of Hollywood news. We have an interview at the end of the show. We will talk to Don't Tell Larry directors Greg Porper and John Schimke. Those are real names, folks. They're real names. Plus, your comments, questions. The amazing David Zucker interview that Alan Ng did. So let's start the show because we're late. Let's go. Let's start the show. I know Alan is waiting for me. Let's go. You know what will wake Alan up.
I have a particular set of skills that can help me find Alan for you. Oh, and don't forget to go out and watch me in the remake of the very funny Naked Gun. Now back to Alan. Alan.
It's I don't know, something else today.
Alan, I've been looking for you myself. Alan.
Hey man.
Hey, we know one person who's not going to see the Naked Gun movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What's going on, man? You guys are waiting for me? I'm sorry I'm late. I need to say that my life is very scheduled by design. I'm up at 7 a.m. because I have to take a pill on an empty stomach. I eat at exactly 8:30 a.m., take another set of pills. I have to eat lunch at noon and take vitamins. My life is very scheduled. Now, I'm cool with that. But when my schedule is thrown off, not due to you, Alan. In fact,
I was here.
Someone has high praise for you.
Best recipe for a good show is a little bit of Chris Gore and a pinch of Alan Ng. Bon appetit, Film Threat fans.
See?
Just a pinch.
Somebody likes us.
Yeah.
So I apologize to the audience for being late. I will make it up to you. We have a lot to get through, so let's start. We have some chat comments and questions. Let's start with those.
Yes, Gesture of Roanoke for 2. Elio is a sad reminder of how far Pixar has fallen. Has it?
Well, we'll see. I have some.
The only one.
We'll get to that. We'll get to this stuff in a second. Thank you, Gesture of Roanoke.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Gesture of Roanoke, who also became a YouTube member.
That's great. Thank you so much. Hey, James
Raschuti, aka Gen X Fed, for member for 27 months. Nobody say anything to Chris about spoilers. He got his punk rock rage zombie up on the nooner. I loved kick-ass angry Chris Gore. Did you spoil something?
I did not one thing.
Okay. All right. Two Penny Puppet for 5. Okay, Alan. Friday night at the very end of your show, you just casually leaked information that Pedro Pascal signed to play an older Paul Atreides. What the fuck? That's a joke.
He was goofing.
I was goofing.
Thanks,
but
for
it would
flag.
be great. It would be great. Box Office Brawler for 199. Just saw Life of Chuck. So happy you recommended it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. In spite of
Thank
Mark
you.
Hamill.
Yeah.
Destiny Captain, member for 3 months. Gosh, I hope Chris doesn't spoil anything. What did you do?
I didn't spoil anything. That's what I did.
Apparently did. Tyler Disney for 5. Hated Elio. Can't wait for your review. Also, hi, Alan. I don't know. It's getting 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
I don't know who did that, but a quick reminder from Lord Thoth, if you would, Alan.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch. Shop.filmthreat.com.
And one shirt you may not be aware of is our magic. This shirt is magic.
Yes.
Alan, do you have this shirt?
I will be getting that shirt. I need to save
I
some
think
money.
you need this shirt.
Yeah. It's the magical dumpster
It's
fire.
the magical dumpster fire. That's one I don't have.
I know.
So there you go.
I like it
All
in
right.
red. I'm gonna get it in red.
Thank you, Lord Thoth, for that. And thank you, everyone, for your patience with me. I will do better. I promise I will do better. Alan, I got a notification from the Film Threat Interviews channel
Yes.
for a premiere of, I would say, one of the best interviews you have ever done. My only complaint is it was very short, but let's just a little preview. It's 25 minutes.
Yeah. Can I say that
please?
I went overtime.
Yeah,
So,
you did.
Let's just say they gave me an allotted amount of time and I was allowed to go over it.
He looked like he was having fun, but if you don't know, Film Threat has 2 other channels. Film Threat Trailers. We debut new indie film trailers, and Film Threat Interviews. You should subscribe to both, but check out just a little of this.
I've got to say what an honor it is for me to talk to you, David Zucker. You, among a few other people, have kind of shaped my comedy, my viewpoint of comedy. And again, it's an honor for me to talk to you.
Oh,
And,
well, thank you. It's my pleasure. And especially am favorably disposed to anybody who will tell me how great I am.
Yes. Well, there you go. You're great.
Yeah, thank you. All you need.
Yeah, let's just start off with why we're here. But you have a live stream tonight with Pat Proft.
With
and
Pat
you
Proft.
Yeah,
Pat Proft and I have been friends
We're talking about the
for,
live stream that
45
just ended
years.
last night.
50 in August, and I think the trailer dropped today.
Yeah,
and
so
so we're getting just a ton of interview requests and questions from people just kind of wondering why we're not involved. So we're glad to answer it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I read a bit about why you're not involved, and I'm kind of curious about that. We did a live stream yesterday where about 7 of us watched the trailer, and I think it came across fairly favorable that people are excited about it. But I'm curious, what I guess the story is that they approached you and wanted you basically to endorse it in name only. What was kind of the interaction between you and Paramount about Naked
Well,
Gun?
Pat and I had written a script originally we called it Naked Gun 4. Nordberg did it, and then we changed that title to Naked Impossible. But
And to get the full answer
Yeah.
for what he says, subscribe to Film Threat Interviews. So there you go.
And we get into it. We get to talk about comedy. We talk a lot about his work, Top Secret and Police Squad, which I know a lot of people have not seen that.
The original TV show, yes, I watched it in first run.
Yes.
Loved it. So yeah, no, that was great to pop up. We do live interviews on this channel during our live streams, but we also will just pre-record interviews to run on the interviews channel. So this is just your friendly reminder to check that out. So congrats, Alan. I thought it was great, and I shared it for everybody. So cool. Hey,
and I would also point to the Stephen Merchant interview I did a couple.
That's another great one. Another great one. All right, Rachel Brosnahan on Lois Lane and Superman. I want to show a clip. Actually, this is before we get to that story. This relates. It's a 30-second clip of a scene with Rachel basically Lois Lane and Superman. You ready for this? I don't know if you've seen this. Check out this clip and then we'll go to the story.
You've gotten a lot of heat on social media lately.
I don't read that stuff. Superman doesn't have time for selfies.
Third person. You're referring to yourself in third person now.
No, it's just a thing I came up with that I thought I'd try to work into the next interview.
This is on the record, Superman.
Okay, well, not the part where I said that.
Yes, that part.
No, that part was an aside. That was off the record.
You have to say off the record beforehand, not after.
Why are you being like this?
It's fine. I won't write that you spend your spare time trying to think up sound bites, which are terrible. But you've gotten a lot of...
I honestly, that does not get me excited. That scene goes on for 10 minutes in the movie. I know when I'm going to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, Alan. That
Well,
scene is
first you shouldn't show clips of a long conversation.
right.
Why are we releasing this stuff? Like I'm gonna say it over and over again. Stop press tours. just release your movie.
They don't help. And that clip just not that impressed. Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane, was interviewed for Interview magazine. It says Rachel Brosnahan gets Amanda Seyfried ready for Superman summer. Amanda Seyfried is I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation of her name. She's an actress in her own right. I like Amanda. But here are some clips and highlights from this interview. Alan, if you would.
Yeah. Okay. So on playing Lois Lane, she says about the pressure of legacy. I've never done something that has a baked-in fan base already. It's definitely intimidating. And about casting, she auditioned and then did a chemistry read in LA with 5 other actors. Sphincter gripping is how she described it. Let's see. Regarding the power relatability of Superman, why Superman resonates, she says he's also an outsider. He loves people, but he's an alien that can be isolating. And then in connecting with the audience, so many people see themselves in him. And then finally, Rachel Brosnahan on superhero movies in general, she says, I don't know why people say yes to a project only to then turn around and complain about it. Look, I don't want to shit on other actors, but there was a minute where it was cool to not like superhero movies and to look back on projects like this and poo-poo them. Don't do it, or do it or don't do it, and then just stand by it. Do it or don't do it, then stand by it. Whatever your choice is. Basically she's saying, stop complaining, stand by your work.
Well, my understanding is that this scene was the rehearsal scene that it was like their audition was this scene from the movie. It's a 10-page dialogue heavy scene. I mean, it's basically dialogue. Superman is being interviewed by his girlfriend as Superman. I don't really like the clip they showed.
They shouldn't be showing clips.
But
Either show
we're
the whole
seeing
thing
it out of context.
Exactly.
So I don't know, but I'll say compared to the Fantastic Four, I'm liking more what I see of Superman, but that scene does not convince me. What are your thoughts?
No, exactly. I said it again. I'll give you an example. I want to take my daughter to see This Is Spinal Tap because this is a big anniversary year for it. And so what Fathom Events did was they decided to take all the punchlines from Spinal Tap and put it in, make it a trailer. And so now my daughter sits there and watches all these lines like shit sandwich and 11 and has no idea why people think these lines are great. And the problem is she doesn't have the context for it.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I can't let her see these trailers anymore, or she'll never want to see This Is Spinal Tap. And that's the same thing with this. You're showing us clips without context. And so, of course, it's going to look stupid. Of course, it's going to look dumb. Stop doing that. You didn't need to put that scene out there.
Yeah, I think the best thing they could do is nothing. I feel like Superman, we're less than, 3 weeks away?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of being overexposed now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that. When they said Barbie-like epic promotion, they're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I mean, can I remind you that The Force Awakens trailer was a definite teaser trailer. It just gave you a flavor of what you were going to see. Didn't reveal stories, revealed a few characters. And it did blockbuster opening weekend. So you don't need that much to promote a movie, let alone a bad movie like The Force Awakens.
Right.
These press tours have got to end.
Let's go to comments.
Okay. Lord Metroid, remember for 19 months, Christopher Reeves is still the GOAT Superman. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Press M to start. For 2, spoiler, they find Nemo in Finding Nemo.
Oh man.
Yeah, what about Finding Dory? Do they find Dory?
Is that a thing?
You never see. It's the sequel.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah.
Huh?
Guess what happens?
They find her?
Dory gets lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Press M to start. Also a member for 26 months. Spoiler: dinosaurs eat people in Jurassic Park. What did you do, Chris? Why are we inundated with spoilers?
I gave sort of broad strokes what I thought of 28 years later, and someone complained I gave spoilers. I said nothing about the story, so it's those people are just trying to troll me.
Yeah, I mean, rumor has it it's a zombie movie.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Ironheart is also coming. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I've already
Iron
signed
Man.
I've already signed the paperwork.
Iron Man loves Ironheart. I think is it Iron Man or Iron Man?
I believe it is 2 words. Yeah.
Is it 2 words? Iron Man.
I bet there's
the cast of Ironheart, members of the cast were on Good Morning America, and they received a special message from guess who? You ready to watch?
Tony Stark?
Let's see. Here we go.
Do you mind if we interrupt the interview for just a moment? Because I think we have a very special message. I think you're going to recognize who this is.
Hey, it's Robert Downey.
That looks great. Miss Thorne, I couldn't be happier than to be seeing you bring Riri Williams to life. But the hood has me nervous. Is the hood green? Please tell me Mr. Ramos is not replacing me as Dr. Doom via Parker Robbins. Is there something you're not telling me? Anyway, I don't want to step on your interview. Long story short, Iron Man loves Ironheart.
Dominic, how's that make you feel? That one of the original Avengers saying that.
Loves Iron Man too.
One of the original Avengers.
So
there would
supportive.
be he would not be sitting there if not for Robert Downey Jr. doing Iron Man.
Yeah.
One of the original Avengers. Let's watch the gushing. Here we go.
Yeah, let's watch it, please.
Amazing, because I do come from a family that loves the MCU. My baby brother was born just a few months before Iron Man came out, and so it's been a family affair ever since then. And so we have pictures of my baby brother being Iron Man and me being Iron Girl for Halloween. This goes so deep. It goes so deep. And so shortly after we finished filming in Chicago is when I got the first phone call from him, and he has been so sweet, like through and through. So the support, it means so much. It really does.
Yeah, it's got to when you're bringing something like this to the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Robert Downey Jr. I don't blame him. RDJ is a team player. He's going to support other people in the MCU. I don't blame him for that. So I think while he did read from a script and he's being told what to do, I think it's fine. But I
mean, what's he supposed to say?
Yeah, what's he supposed to say? It's not gonna. Now I don't know if you saw this. They dropped yesterday a little BTS. That's not a band from South Korea. BTS to me means behind the scenes. And you know what BTS is, right, Alan?
Yes.
You know
I know
the
both
band.
of them.
Yeah, same. But let's take a look at this 2 minutes of behind the scenes. And I want to let people know, don't laugh. Tonight, I'm doing a marathon watching all of Ironheart while eating Fantastic Four pizza from Little Caesars. This is true. This is happening.
Something special about it? Maybe I'll do that tonight.
Well, no, I'm having a few friends over.
Yeah.
You might know some of them, but I'm not going to reveal. You know what I'll do? I'll do a for members only. I'll do reactions after each episode and save it for now. It won't drop till next week, but I'll save it for members. But let's take a look at this behind the scenes.
Action! I'm very excited about Ironheart. It's great to see Riri Williams level up. Riri Williams. You win her out.
As a true Marvel fan, I'm very excited, locked in, laser focused. This is the real deep dive into who she is.
Ironheart, such a great character. It was really exciting for me bringing that character into the MCU and Wakanda Forever.
In Wakanda, she's a disruptor, and we love that about her.
Now we get.
I will say the actress, she's a team player.
Yeah.
You know, she's selling it. She's not going after fans
yet
for anything yet. I kind of feel like once the reviews hit, we'll see. But she's, you know, she's happy. Why wouldn't she be happy to be a part of this?
Yeah, she has a job. I mean, that's better than most of Hollywood at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Let's watch more of this.
To see this young woman from Chicago coming back home.
It's a brand new day. Riri is back to the block with her family, looking for a new opportunity when she meets the hood.
I got plans for you.
And ends up in uncharted territory.
This kid's magic against technology.
I need to get ahead of this. Yeah.
These two incredible forces go head to head.
Don't worry, Riri. I got you. This is bigger than you think. You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew. I could chew a lot. Dominique is that girl. We had chemistry off the bat.
This acting thing, she might as well put that out.
Oh my! So, by the way, I heard a spoiler of what happens in the last episode. I will not reveal it. But next week, Alan, we might do next week's show on Tuesday night.
Okay.
And we'll do our Wednesday show on Tuesday night. So we'll hit with reviews of all the episodes, and we will do spoilers, and there will be a warning. And maybe don't watch it if you don't want spoilers. But I'm watching all the episodes today with pizza. So
I like how you have to say that you're not going to give away spoilers.
Well, no, I will then, not now.
I'm just saying now you're going out of your way.
I know how the last episode ends. It's going to piss people off so bad. I was told this, so I have not witnessed it myself. But let's finish.
I know how
pocket she got it.
You want me to be small, but I refused. I love the fight training. Like get in there type fights.
She's tough as nails, man. I'll be like, you got one more? She's like, oh yeah, I can do 10 more of these things.
The best way to know a thing is to take it apart, see what it's really made of.
Break yourself down. Might be a hero in there after all. With that suit, I can get everything I want.
If I'm gonna protect us, I need to start thinking outside the box. This has opened the doors. Absolutely anything could happen.
You got magic, incredible battles. We take it from the street to the Chicago skyline and everywhere in between. But at the end of the day, it's a story about family.
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that.
Well, it looks like they spent a lot of money. That's kind of crazy. What do you think now that you're getting? And Alan, you're going to watch it too.
Yeah, I will see maybe 3 episodes tonight, but I'll spoil the ending. Mephisto arrives to reset the MCU as if this show never happened.
No, I found out what it was. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Well, okay. Can you say whether it leads into Fantastic Four or Secret War, Doomsday?
It doesn't lead. It doesn't lead into anything.
Okay,
but it will likely piss people off. Next week we will reveal all after the embargo deadline drops. All cards are on the table, and you choose whether you want to hear the spoilers or not. One last thing I want to talk about before we get to
by the way, it
comments.
ends when she realizes she can't open a can with her iron suit.
One last Marvel thing I want to talk about before we get to our main topic. The Fantastic Four First Steps tie-ins. I don't know if you know about this, Alan. There are a lot of tie-ins. I have never, since we've been covering Marvel, I don't know that I've ever seen this many tie-ins. You've got a serial tie-in with all 4 members of the FF. You've got popcorn, 4 popcorn buckets, and the Galactus popcorn bucket, the most expensive bucket ever at $85. Then you've got toys and clothing line and pizza with Little Caesars. There's even, check this out, a new kind of blue milk for you, Alan. It's Fantastic Berry flavored milk will hit stores in July from True Moo. With all, you've got 4 different. What do you think? Are you a milk drinker, Alan?
Definitely not a flavored milk drinker.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm more of an almond milk guy. I avoid sugar.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to have the berry flavored milk. But on Instagram, this video dropped from an influencer. I'm gonna from Leo Zombie. I'm gonna refresh this and turn on this sound so we can watch this little video. Look at this. Here we go. Fantastic Four merch preview day. We got t-shirts. We got food. We've got backpacks, clothing. We have a Herbie robot. There's jackets,
the luggage, dance moves,
dance numbers. There's Pop-Tarts. There's Twister. They're they arm wrestle with Pop-Tarts. I'm not joking. This is happening. Look.
Oh, hey.
No, you'll see.
Oh my God.
So the Pop-Tarts come out and arm wrestle people. This is a real thing that's I'm gonna mute the sound here.
Yeah.
They invited influencers out to debut the merch. There has never been this much merch that, at least from my awareness, for any Marvel movie. Did they do this for Thunderbolts? No. Did they do this for Captain America Brave New World? No. But Fantastic Four, they really, really have bet the farm on all this merch and cereal and Pop-Tart tie-ins and pizza tie-ins. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I guess Disney's desperate for money, for one thing. The other thing is, do cosplayers actually read comic books, or are they just into the look of the character?
Look, I know a bunch of cosplayers. They're very legit. What's funny is cosplayers sometimes have better costumes than the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. What's weird is I love the Fantastic Four. It was my gateway comic. I would start to read comics on a regular basis as a kid because of the FF. And I don't really care about this. I'm not excited.
Yeah.
It's a version of the team I'm not really into. So, but I'll probably buy those Pop-Tarts, to be honest. I'll buy a box and never eat them.
Yum. You may want to throw them away though.
No, they'll be around
forever.
for probably decades.
That's pretty
for
true.
decades.
Yeah, I think when the zombie apocalypse comes and you're out of food, you'll be grabbing.
Then
for
I'll
those
be able to eat them.
Pop-Tarts.
Yep. Let's go to comments here, and then we'll get to our main story. I promise.
Okay, Aron Charman, member for 13 months. Spoiler: there are zombies and people die in 28 years later. Oh, come on, people! Press M to start.
I can't wait for you to see it. There's so much to it.
I really wanted to go last night, but I couldn't.
It's real. You gotta go. Okay.
Press M to start for 2. Which indie film flopped but aged like fine wine?
Oh God,
It's such a broad question.
Well, it's this thing. Indie films don't generally do well anyways. So when you say flop, indie movies don't make any money. They all flop. Yeah, that's right. They all flop. I'd say Slacker maybe, because I mentioned that as my all-time favorite indie movie. And it's just A lot of people don't know that film. It's Richard Linklater's, well, it's his second feature film. And it usually these indie movies play in 2 theaters. So when you say flop, like they all flop. So I'd say Slacker for me. That movie deserves more love. What about you, Alan?
Oh gosh. Like I said, it's such a broad question. I'm trying to think of just one right now.
Pretty much every indie movie bombs.
They all flop.
They all flop.
Gosh, because a lot of it, I'm trying to think back to all the movies I've seen back in the 80s and which ones still resonate today that were considered indie films. And I'm struggling to do that at the moment.
Well, I mean, would you consider this an indie movie right here? This movie here?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to leave that up while we go through the comments here. Thanks, M. Appreciate your support.
Oh, man. I am the prettier girl. Jester of Roanoke for 2. Robert Downey Jr. a breath away from saying fade in.
Yeah. It was all scripted. That's funny.
Steve Z for 10. Spoiler, Chicago thug kills innocent Irish vampire who is only trying to spread fellowship and love.
See? Thanks, Steve Z.
We're just spoiling everything here. He was a ghost all the time. The Beast 808, member for 14 months. Appreciate you both. Remain blessed, Frank and Alan.
Oh, thanks to Beast 808. I see you in other chats as well. And hey, Yellow Flash 2, is this where the gays hang out? You bet. Look at that image. Look at that image.
Here's another spoiler. It's a dude. Pisses me off.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, look, just don't put a penis on a dick or a dick on a penis. Think about it. Penis dick.
Why would you say all this stuff, Alan?
Yeah, and I did say I was gay. All right. Yep.
Thanks, Yellow Flash. Every Saturday night, I've got you playing in the background while I do other stuff.
Yeah, you got penis dick on repeat. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right.
Sunset Shadows for 2. Who needs the Riddler when we have the spoiler?
That's my supervillain name. Thanks, Sons and Shadows.
Well, I'm glad I didn't hear your review of 28 Years Later.
I said nothing about it.
That's not what
story.
That's not my understanding at the moment. Southeastern Kaiju for 2. Spoiler, there's nothing ironic with iron.
Iconic
with iron.
Close enough.
This is the worst font. Can I just say that? StreamYard, this is the worst font. Helios ending for 10 Canadian. Following you guys' advice, I'm making a movie called Dick Tits about a guy with tits for testicles. Yes, there's going to be an awkward breastfeeding scene. Thanks, Chris and Al or Chris and AI for the inspiration.
Send us the movie. We will review it on Film Thread. So I'm being serious.
The Napsky for 2. I'm getting a Jetsons vibe with Fantastic Four. Bad idea.
Yeah, the tone of this does not match the comics for me. I think it's a style that they came up with and fell in love with. It's not the FF.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember reading the original, the old comics. There were, early comics of FF and saying, "Hey, 60s vibe."
Well, it was
this is all Mad Men.
Then. It was made then. So
I know, but you just even reading it was like, this is not Mad Men. Sailor Mercury for 5. There's a ton of Sue Storm cosplayers right now, but it's from Marvel Rivals and not Fantastic Four. No one cares about the movie.
Yeah, like I love the Fantastic Four, but I don't know. I'm just not into it or what this movie is.
And Sean Hu gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Thank you, Sean Hu. Check out members only. There'll be some Ironheart exclusive content.
Thumbs up 1981 for 199. How is it your faces go on anything and it's fire?
I don't know. I love it. I love it. The meme away.
Jillian H for 5. Since the Spaceballs sequel is upcoming, Dark Helmet is Lone Star's father's brother's nephew's cousin, former roommate in the original Spaceballs. You know what that made them?
Yeah,
absolutely nothing.
Well, but I think Spaceballs could be good. The only thing, Josh Gad is doing it, and that makes me think it will not. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate it.
But Rick Moranis returning is enough to get me to see the movie.
Yeah.
Uncle Jimmy, I bet the pizza will be the best part of Chris.
Yeah. Not
Or be the
just
best part.
Chris.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Greg, you have no idea.
Thank you, man.
You have
It's
no
all
what
good.
it's no idea what it's like to read it in my mind.
Hey, have you
Craig
seen
Wilson.
Gary tried to read? Gary
Oh.
tries to read all the time.
I know. Craig Wilson. Yeah, it's like high school and college coming back at me right now. Craig Wilson for $4.99. Which will be better movie, Spaceballs 2 or the new Naked Gun? Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, look, I just interviewed David Zucker. He has no intention on seeing Naked Gun. But the trailers were pretty good. But he's right in the sense of it just feels like they're redoing Naked Gun and not making something original.
Well, he did make a point about that they were going with an older actor that's like classic, and he plays it straight. And he's like, "Well, we've done that. We would do something different."
Yeah. In fact, he mentioned who he wanted to be Drebin Jr. in the interview.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of irony in that choice.
Yeah. No spoilers, Alan.
No spoilers, but there's
Go watch
irony in the
interview.
choice he made.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
All right. It's time. We will review Elio on Friday, but Alan needs to talk about this.
Yeah.
Alan, you and I both saw Elio.
Mm-hmm.
There's a review on the Film Threat website for
Not
it.
kind.
It is not kind. You gave it a 3 out of 10. I'm going to share a screen and
it
present-
is the worst Pixar movie ever made.
Yeah, well,
And
let's
for very much the same reason that Wish was the worst Disney animated film. And I'm look, I've been reading the comments about it. Yeah, I'm being nitpicky. Most of my review is just about the art and the animation of Elio and how awful it is and how it is reminiscent of Wish. Violates exactly the same rules as Wish. And the reason I bring up the art and design of Elio is because Pixar has had a long tradition from the first Toy Story. And granted, the first Toy Story, the computer models used, not that exciting and not that, not that polished. Obviously, the art design of Pixar and Disney had evolved over time. But, we're talking about the first computer generated animated feature ever in Toy Story. So there's levels in which you forgive it, but at least there was some thought and design placed behind, Woody and Buzz, and also the art design of that movie. Elio just becomes this regression of just what happens when you get rid of all the pale male and stale dudes over at Disney and Pixar.
It was very clear. We'll do a review on Friday, but this, wow, we have too many ads here. This is annoying on our website.
Don't blame me.
But you should read Alan's review. It goes in depth. It's important you read it, but you wanted to say a few things about the movie.
Okay.
So
why
don't you get to that?
Yeah, so let me go back to back in my young adult days. This was in the 90s. Disney, I think I mentioned this in my Wish review, but Disney had this thing called the Disney Institute. Hold on, let me okay. They had this thing called the Disney Institute, and it was at that time basically it was adult fantasy camp for Disney. And I went, and it was my dream to go. I saved up a lot of money to do this experience where you stay at Walt Disney World and you take all these classes. I took an animation class. I took a gardening class at Epcot where we went around and learned how the gardening of Epcot was done. Did a canoe trip through the canals behind Disney World. And the ones I was looking forward to was the photography classes. There were two of them, outdoor photography and portrait photography. And we go into a room, and these professional Disney photographers, the guy who took Michael Eisner's board pictures, taught us how to take pictures the Disney way. And it wasn't even the Disney way, it was the professional way. And the first thing they taught us, and if any of you know anything about art, you'll understand what this is, but it's called the rule of thirds. Is that when you take a picture of someone, don't put them in the dead center of the scene. That's boring. Put them off to either the third of the screen to the right or the third to the left. If you've seen the movie The Fabelmans, John Ford gives this lesson to young, I forget, Benny Fabelman or whatever, Steven Spielberg, just about this. And while watching Elio, I couldn't help but notice, but throughout 80% of the movie, all the action was in the dead center of the screen. Would you concur with that, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem, I'll show you an example of this, but the problem of it is that it's like, imagine you're driving home late at night down a long highway, and all you're doing is staring down the highway, right down the dead center of your windshield. You're going to fall asleep. Your eye needs to move around to keep you engaged. And it just seems like Elio and Pixar and Disney, especially with Wish, they decide that they are going to take their movie and just violate all the rules of art. And here, I'll give you an example. This is from...
Please, show
This
it.
is the trailer to Elio.
Okay.
Okay, and what I've done here is I put a green bar down the center third of the screen.
Okay.
All right. So here, I'll let me mute it so because you don't need to hear it. But as you can see, what's happening here is there's this green bar. Notice how most of the action, not all of it, they get it right sometimes, but all the action is in the center of the screen. In fact, do yourself a favor, look at the left and the right. That's not green. And ask yourself, what am I looking at? This is obviously this part fills the screen. But yeah, look at this scene here. Action in the middle, nothing on the sides. Same here. Look, Elio is by himself. He's in the center of the screen. And what do you see on the left and the right? Nothing. It's boring. We're going to move. Let me move down just a little bit. Look at that. What are you seeing? You're seeing the...
It tells me everyone involved in this is inexperienced. And like the first line of the movie is from like the black superior officer to Elio's guardian.
Yeah.
And everything, it's very DEI influenced. It's very, you think it's that Elio is handicapped. He's not. He was scratched in the eye, and so wears a patch for the whole movie.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, okay, here is.
And what that tells
look,
me
there's
is,
a lot of look at this. Look at this. Oh, hold on, let me back up.
What we're looking at is ready for this, folks? We're looking at the communiverse.
Yeah,
that's right. Elio is abducted by aliens that take him to a place where they all get together, and it's called the communiverse, where everyone gets along and everything is fair.
Yeah. Okay, now look at this. Look, we got some aliens here. What can you tell me about these aliens? Like
the design of all the aliens are awful.
Yeah,
they're all
I mean, look,
jellyfish or whatever.
Yeah, I have a picture of that. But okay, look, there you go. Nothing on the left and the right. Yeah, look, there you go.
Generic, uninspired, uncreative designs for aliens I've ever seen in any form of media.
Yeah. Okay, look at this. The alien is in the middle of the screen. What do you see on the left and the right?
Nothing.
And then we get to a broad shot here. Let's see. Yeah. Again, look, what are we seeing? What are we looking at? What are we looking at on the left and the right? There's nothing there. Look, do you see it? There's a bunch of aliens in this picture.
Yes.
You look at the alien design. Look how boring it is. How you look at it, it's like, what am I looking at? Because look, this is something I've learned in drama and in theater is you have to connect with your audience. You have to produce images that your audience will connect with. Look, it's arbitrary. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't connect with any of this. Maybe you do, but I would argue that 90% of the people looking at this image cannot connect with any of these aliens in this picture. Yeah, again, this artwork, the composition, the design. I mean, yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. But here, let me go through some of these images too. Here, I'll show you a picture of I have way too many pictures here. Here we go.
Show us.
Look, here's the cute little aliens that we're supposed to fall in love with.
They just, the designs of the aliens look terrible. They're all, look at it, looks like a child designed them.
Well, it looks very random. There should be a sense of utility when you look at the aliens, that you know what they do or how they move. Like this stone alien here. You see the stone alien a lot. And all you see him is kind of, he's got parts, and these parts separate when he talks or when he moves. And that's about all you see. This one on the edge here, it appears a lot in the movie as well. But what are we looking at? Why is it built this way? Why is it designed that way? Same with this thing here. I look at whatever this is. Again, you need a sense of utility of how it functions, why it functions, how it moves, and that's how you begin connecting with these and say, hey, I want to buy this toy. But I think they decided, hey, we're going to create a cool toy design and then kind of animate around it as opposed to vice versa.
It just seems to me, we haven't even gotten to the story yet, Alan.
Yeah.
But did you get the feeling that they elevated voices that don't normally get to be in charge to put this together?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at, so this is the same director.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Yeah. But the same director as Turning Red and a couple others. Look at this image. Here's the action right in the center. And then you look to the left and to the right, and you have to ask yourself, what am I looking at? There's nothing defined. It's not even exciting. Here, I'm gonna look. Let's take a look at how Disney used to do this stuff. Look, this is from probably the second worst Pixar movie, Cars.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Cars. It's
right.
not offensive.
But look at this image. Look at this image. You have three of your main characters, and then you have something interesting happening.
By the way, I can even determine the personalities of these characters based on the designs.
Mm-hmm. And when I talk about composition, obviously, okay, so they're not using the thirds on the left and the right, but they're using the third from the bottom and the top. So all your characters here are at the bottom third of the screen, which forces your eye then to look above it at the Tokyo background. Look, when you create something, one of the things they taught us at photography camp was it was all about where your eye goes. When you look at an image, what direction does your eye move around the photo? Look, yes, car is in the center here, but then you've got interesting action going on to the right here. And there's a level of, where it's off balance in a good way, where you got the large explosion here and the small one over here and the character escaping it. There's action. This is a still, and yet you feel movement, you feel action, you feel the explosion basically. Here's a group shot. Remember the alien group shot we just saw? Well, this is from the first Toy Story movie. You look around and it's just, there's energy, there's excitement to just these poses. And you also have context. You understand who these characters are, what they do. This is the promo shot. And you notice the triangular composition here. So your eye sees everything, but then moves to Buzz and then it moves to Woody. This is just basic shot composition. This is a very busy shot, but your eye goes right to Potato Head right here. look at the triangular composition of this. The ship here in the back forces your eye to go right to Buzz. It's look, this is from Inside Out 2, the last movie, the highest grossing animated feature ever. Look at how they position and compose the stand. This is a great shot because you look at characters, you know who they are. You understand something about them. And then also they're just not posed like superheroes. It's posed to serve the scene at this moment. And your eye automatically is drawn to this larger character here, to Embarrassment. I've been watching Elio again. I'll say it again. Elio is not an animated feature; it's a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It
should have gone direct to Disney Plus.
No, it should have gone to Canada because apparently Canada is making better movies than Burbank.
Right. Well, that's
or Emeryville even. I don't know.
I mean, I feel if this trend keeps going, they're going to send everything to Canada for the animation and or AI.
Yeah. But it's, I tried to ask David Zucker this question. He didn't bite, but it just seems like when you go, there's something about the past that current day Hollywood doesn't want to look at. No one wants to go back to Hitchcock and make a Hitchcock style film, or at least study Hitchcock and ask yourself, why are his movies so visually exciting versus everything else? Why don't we go back to Walt Disney and look at how he composes shots, and why, the squash and stretch, it's for some reason Hollywood today has said that, Shakespeare is male, pale, and stale. We need to do greater work. We can do greater work on our own if we just not do what they did in the past. And Elio is just that example of that. It's just bad design. The mother. I don't know how they could make the mother character or the aunt character so plain
figure.
She's the mother
plain, and she wears an army uniform throughout the movie, even
and a
in
bun.
her in a bun, even when she's not at work. It was there were so many aspects of, and by the way, we haven't gotten to it yet. Every white character is dumb or a jerk or a bully.
Yeah.
Every single one. And the one character who was kind of friends with the white bully, the black kid, he ends up having a redemption arc.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers.
By the way, Elio in the first act is a dick. Is an absolute dick.
He's kind of a jerk, and he gets everything he wants. He
steals something from a kid.
He steals something from a kid. First of all, let's save it for the review.
Yeah.
This is merely about the making of the film, but it is very clear. And if anyone who works in animation wants to reach out to us, it's very clear that people who were unqualified were elevated to positions to make Elio. This was made by unqualified designers, animators, and storytellers. And to that I say, bring back Hugs. Bring back John Lasseter, because when he was there, the movies were better. Final thoughts, Alan. We'll go to comments.
Yeah, someone should write a series about how Disney has fallen in the animation department. I just don't know how this. I can't believe this is the direction Disney is going in, especially coming off of Inside Out 2, which was a far superior movie than this, and we're reverting back to this, and I don't know what's coming. Hoppers is next. There's oh my god, there's a
teaser for Hoppers. It's at the very end of the movie. It's a post-credit scene.
It's a dumb old joke.
Yeah, it's a dumb joke. But if you see it, you'll stay to the end and get a treat.
Yeah, but you know what? when a Disney animated feature came out, the first thing I did when it was available was buy the art book. I bought the art book for Little Mermaid, for Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Lion King, and I would just sit there and go through just this gorgeous concept art, gorgeous animation and character design. You can't do that anymore with Disney, and those things weren't cheap either. But I spent the money, I bought them, and I just miss the way things. Someone's bringing a Strange World. Even the composition in Strange World is good compared to this one.
Yeah, it's a colossal disappointment. It's going to lose a lot of money, and it's going to call into question why so many unqualified people are being elevated, most likely because of DEI, because of the I'm not going to say I'm not going to mention an identity, but there's definitely a bias toward veterans and experienced people.
Yeah. I mean, read the D files. My understanding is that what was happening in Burbank was happening in Emeryville as well, especially after Lasser's leaving, and that weirdly enough, the only bastion where this DEI culture doesn't exist in Canada, which is why Moana 2 got. Look, the animation of Moana 2 is exceptional. Story not so much.
Yeah.
But you did see a return to form in that one. I don't know how Inside Out 2 got away with it. But again, this is a step back.
Let's go to comments. And do you want to do a review of an early review of the movie? You can do it.
No. Well, we'll save it for Friday because the big thing to me was just the art design of this movie. I can't stand. I mean, this kind of started with Soul and Luca. This bean face, kind of bubble face head look. I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. Okay. Press M to start for 2. Elio proves CalArts killed Pixar's soul. Killed Pixar's soul, not saved it. Yeah.
You can read Alan's review on filmthreat.com. Just go to the homepage
and read go back to the D files because it all still applies. The thing about
I was thinking of the D files when I was watching Elio, and I saw the screening at 4. You hadn't seen it yet, and I texted you, this is the worst movie Pixar's ever made.
Yeah, and I remember just from the beginning, seeing everything at the center of the screen is like, oh, we're in for a ride here. The other thing, CalArts, I didn't put this in D files, but CalArts started going woke, where where you can't. Well, let's just say they're removing gender, and so when you're doing anatomy classes, you can't involve gender in anatomy classes.
Lame.
Take that for what it's worth. Retro Meister for 5. To be honest, Turning Red is the worst Pixar movie and caused a mass exodus of those like Brad Bird to leave Pixar for John Lasseter's Skydance animation. Brad Bird's back for Incredibles. So,
yep.
All right. Darth Bobcat for 5. Is Disney making these movies to eventually turned into clips on TikTok? That's the only thing that makes sense for everyone being dead center. I mean, it's not like you can't shift the screen over when you make a TikTok video. Does that cost too much money? I mean, I could do it on my iPad. Retro Meister for 2. Will Lilo and Stitch take Elio's money this weekend? I bet it will. The predictions on Elio are not good.
Yeah, they're it's gonna bomb.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're really not promoting this movie.
They're not at all.
Yeah, compared to Lilo and Stitch. Knee pain, cheap labor.
Thanks, knee pain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, some of that's brought up in the D files. David B. Formatted for the triumphant return of 4:3 TVs. Yes.
I like whenever I see like an A24 movie and it's in 4:3, I kind of like it.
Sing in the Rain is in 4:3, believe it or not.
A lot of classic movies are in 4:3.
Well,
the Wizard of Oz.
All classic movies are 4-3. I know the CinemaScope didn't come around for a long time. LK Alan, has Cal art style infected Pixar now? This looks like 3D Steven Universe. Yeah, I mean, I keep thinking of Steven Universe when I watch Pixar movies nowadays. Bill S. Preston Esquire, the folks who made Elio were too diverse to waste their time learning from dead white men.
There is a clear in the movie, and we will get into it on Friday when we do our spoiler review of Elio. Sorry, be warned if Elio spoilers bother you.
Yeah.
But there is a clear bias against white characters. There just is.
Yeah.
And elevating of everyone who isn't. And then the design of the aliens, they're so non-distinct. I mean, this character that Elio is with right there, they don't even have eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's bizarre.
Well, you can tell that creature is made for plush toys.
Yeah.
Leslie Tarkin, yes, I took art and animation classes at the Disney Institute.
So, Leslie, this then makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't teach us this. They didn't teach me this in the animation, but they did definitely teach it in animation. Was just how to do a frame by frame cartoon, which I ultimately did during that session.
We have an interview subject in the next 20 minutes, but I have some more news stories to go over. We'll do our Elio review on Friday, but this is important, Alan. It's Disney related. Why Disney's AI lawsuit will determine whether studios survive. There's a story. I'll bring it up for you. I think you have the notes, but this is from the Hollywood Reporter. I'll bring up the story. This is huge. This is huge, Alan.
All right.
Let me bring it up on screen. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you would.
Do I need to remove? There you go. All right. Well, it finally happened. Disney and Universal have joined the legal fight against generative AI, suing image generator Midjourney for allegedly stealing their characters to train its models. After months of watching other media companies either cut deals or stay quiet, Hollywood's big dogs are stepping in, accusing Midjourney of straight-up plagiarism for churning out Shrek and Yoda-like content. It feels like the first real cannon blast in what's shaping up to be a long, messy war between old-school entertainment empires and the rise of AI-generated content. And let's be honest, this move was a long time coming. But the lawsuit isn't about one AI company or a few character likenesses. It's about whether the whole idea of the traditional Hollywood studio can survive in a world where anyone can generate movie-style content from their laptop. If the studio win, they will hold their creative turf. If they lose or settle, they risk becoming more than IP landlords, still making money, but not really making movies anymore. The irony, studios want to use AI too, just not if it's trained on their stuff. So we're in this weird catch-22 where the future of Hollywood might depend on the very tools they're trying to steal. Or they're trying to sue, sorry.
What do you think about this? Like, I think we're in trouble from this standpoint. If the studios don't get this under control and they don't find a way to license, and the thing is, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. This is where we're at. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, Trump has been saying a lot about, how we need to win the AI war. Speaking almost as if we're making a nuclear weapon. Because it's the same language. You watch Oppenheimer, the same language in Oppenheimer is the same language we're using for AI. And it's hard. It's like I'm constantly being thrown back and forth in this debate because I understand how AI can be used as a tool, but then I understand that I don't want to see AI in everything. And that I still will always prefer something made by human hands versus AI. But this article brings up that the main interesting point here is that Disney would love to make all their stuff with AI. But what Disney's more concerned about is not art, but it's about money. The fact that they could make a movie like Elio super cheap without using people. In fact, it got pretty damn close, it looks like. So, as much as you want to kind of, I don't know, I think the best way I could say it is it's going to be interesting to see this played out in court, to see where the court and where this all lands in terms of what AI can do, and then who owns what AI ultimately produces.
Well, it needs to be based on the data sets.
Mm-hmm.
If you've artwork, and the artwork is owned by a company and or an individual, like you own your likeness. I mean, if someone's profiting, there needs to be a financial arrangement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that logical?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, but it's the battle over money, and it's the battle over art. Hollywood is definitely in that battle over money and how much they're going to get from it. But they have zero concern over, AI's true place in art. And that's the frustrating part of this discussion is, no, we're just fighting over cash. You're muted. Yeah. You're muted.
Look, this sounds like a crazy analogy to make, but I'm just going to lay it out there. Star Trek, the universe of Star Trek, is based on our world. In the fictional universe of Star Trek, the 23rd century or 24th century, if you're talking next gen, it's based on our universe. It's our future, 300, 400 years in the future. This is where we're going. At some point, and one thing, they talk about classic plays like Shakespeare and whatnot, but they don't talk about current day movies in the world of Star Trek ever. Because at some point in their past, art ended. And look, and I'm not the expert to speak about this. We'll ask Robert Meyer Burnett on Versus on Monday. But at some point in the world of Star Trek, art ended. Now, there was an appreciation for art from the past, but why would people from the 23rd century bring up Shakespeare? Maybe it's because when there was a technological revolution and things exploded in terms of tech and space exploration, maybe art died with the creation of AI. When you can make anything, does it matter? I'm asking a question. What do you think, Alan? If I can sit there and say, remake the Star Wars trilogy with Alan Ingwalker and Darth Gore and tell that story. Now, it would be terrible, but an AI could probably do it. And it's almost like what's weird is, if you could design a computer, you could design a program to make an infinite amount of music that would create every combination, every possible combination of notes. You could write all the songs. Effectively, what's the point of creating when it already is done? I'm asking a question why in the world of Star Trek are there not movies? Why don't they exist? It's because it's possible in their universe, art died, and they only look at things from the past.
It's like when Barclay goes into the holodeck and makes stories up about him making out with Deanna Troi.
Well, who hasn't done?
I know. That's entertainment in Star Trek. But it's also funny that you bring up Star Trek, because to me, Star Trek, even Twilight Zone, were all morality tales. It was always a look at some aspect of humanity and explored an idea, regarding racism, regarding class, whatever, even human connection, stuff like that. And the idea that you would hand that over to AI to write a story about being human just comes off unreal. And it almost it kind of, look, I'll get philosophical here, but if you're going to turn your human stories over to AI, you might as well make it your god now. I'll give you a recommendation of a movie. See Pod Generation, stars Emilia Clarke, Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's just about this. It's about the world in the not too future where everything's synthetic, where everything is created by computers, generated by computers, where now you can grow a baby within a pod. And the movie makes an argument that that we lose our humanity when we move away from nature, from the natural way of doing things. And there's a point where they go to couples therapy, and their therapist is AI, which in my mind just blew up and created this question of what is this philosophy that AI would have that would make it qualified to become a couples therapist or a therapist in general. This is, these are the things I wrestle with when I think about AI. Is it a tool, or are we ultimately just going to give ourselves up to it?
Let's go to comments here. That's a good place to stop. I'm gonna actually I'll be right back, Alan.
Okay.
But start from the top.
Okay, WrathX for 5. Could you please watch and do a review of the CGI animated superhero series Hero Inside? I will tell you that it's hard for me to do television, but maybe Chris will. Tom Siebert, hey Tom, that creature he's writing on looks disgusting, like a flea or some kind of parasite. Yes, but it would make a great toy. Big Papa Pumptick. Scott Steiner, hey. If James Gunn's Superman fails, it's James Gunn's fault. Or is it? Erwin Sentient Potato, I'm here for the Elio presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. James Raschuti, aka Gen X Fed, member for 27 months. Did we get this one? Yeah, we got that one already. Okay. Two Penny Puppet for 5. Okay, Alan, Friday night at the very end of your... Okay, we got that one too. Let's see. Here we go. Bill S. Preston Esquire. AI isn't destroying Hollywood. DEI is. I think, yeah, you could fix one more than the other. I'll just put it that way. Bumpy Johnson, movie style content, stolen crap that looks like trash. One Punch Man Tolkien fan, what an AI racist you are, Alan. Yes, and I hate robots. Yeah,
why are you an AI racist?
I hate robots, and I am racist against AI. Patrick Lemire, I think AI would be a great previs tool, but not the end product. Yeah, remember Companion? I don't know why we sympathize for robots. Just throwing that out there.
We sympathize with anthropomorphized things.
Yes, exactly. So we're more sympathetic for the cute looking robots versus the ugly robots. Yeah. Leo Cody for 5. We are about 18 months away from an indistinguishable AI actor. Bollywood already has an AI hit in their theater called Nisha. I want to see that. I'll see that when it comes out. Let's see. Where else are we? We got that one. JJKK. Don't think of it as Disney versus AI, as that could be applied to any individual artist just trying to make art. They deserve credit for the work put into it. They deserve credit for work put into that, and not just to have it scanned without credit.
I got your AI right here. This is Dragon Knight Fever. It's a Game of Thrones parody. There's Tyrion, little Tyrion. Yeah, baby.
In leather black, so smooth. 1 eye forward, never look back.
Here you go. Jon Snow, baby.
The beat go warm. Feel that.
Wow.
Still bring the storm. Spotlight slide. I got that.
You a Game of Thrones fan, Alan?
Not really.
Ain't no crown on me tonight. Not now. But I burn this floor. Woo. Fever, fever,
There's Bran. Oh my God.
So run deeper. So fever, fever, dragon.
This is what everything is going to be.
I know. It's getting close. I mean, you can tell.
I don't know. I see these things pop up in my feed all the time. It's insane.
Yes, I've been put on that feed too.
Yeah, you look at one and you get, have you seen these things where I'll show you another one. Here, let's look at this one. Have you seen this? Wait, okay, it's a vlog of a stormtrooper.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
I've seen it. I like this one.
All right, cool.
TK-42 Greg here. Just got reassigned to orbital systems duty. Different sky, same uniform.
Everyone keeps saying Skywalker's here. Like that pilot kid. I don't know. Last time someone said that, the hangar exploded. So grain of salt.
Says here I'm Squadron Valor Commended. Neat. No idea what that means.
They said it's a planetary grade weapon system, but it feels like overkill for crowd control.
Honestly, kind of cozy here. Just don't drop anything or breathe too hard. Definitely not for imminent evacuation. They said light cargo. Either they lied or I've gotten weaker.
I mean, like,
so Darth Vader just walked past me. I nodded.
There's a million of these. It's Jedi. It's this. It's like day in the life. It's like a vlog, but with stuff that's familiar. It's kind of weird. Anyways, we can talk about this. We need to do a whole episode about AI for verses, but let's finish with these comments and then we have our special guest joining us. So
okay,
let's go through these.
All right, from Knee Pain, Star Threat, The Search for Alan.
That's coming soon.
Hashtag phone punk hashtag. AI is just a search engine thinking it's this time travel thing is new age religion, dude. All twisted up. Gore, how do you think every piece of AI ever created? How do you track? How do you track every piece of IP ever created? It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
I agree, but Star Wars is very obvious. Disney characters, licensed characters. Believe me, there are lawyers paid to answer that question that are, well, I don't want to call them smart, but they'll figure it out. If there's money involved, they'll figure it out. So there you go. Hey, Alan.
Hey.
We like to interview people,
especially filmmakers.
Let's talk to the directors of Don't Tell Larry, Greg Porper and John Schimke. They are going to correct me on the pronunciations of their names because that was awful. Welcome them to the show. Hey, Greg and John.
Hello.
Thanks for
Hi there.
joining
Hello.
us.
You were great with the pronunciations.
Did I do okay? John Schimke?
Spot on. That's how you say it.
That's how you say it. That's what I thought. It's a very funny name.
It is.
In terms of like, well, it makes sense because you directed a comedy. So,
right. Of course.
So there you go. I really want to show our audience the trailer for your movie because AI is not taking over everything, not indie film, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But I think the thing is you can do sci-fi effects with AI. We talk about this a lot. You can't do comedy. I don't know how you do comedy. So, I mean, we'll see.
They try.
Yeah. Tell us about your movie, Don't Tell Larry.
So Don't Tell Larry is a dark office comedy about what happens when a little white lie just spirals wildly out of control. Just like you tell a little white lie to the weird new guy in the office, and little do you know that one little mistake just was the worst decision you could have ever made in your entire life. So it's a bit of a satire, a farce, so to speak, of office politics, but it's definitely our intention to just for 90 minutes of watching characters who you say to yourself, I am so glad I am not in their shoes right now.
And how did you guys put together this project? Did you get the cast, pitch it, get the budget? Was a crowd fund?
It was a low budget. It was definitely a low budget project. It was a web series. It was based on a web series that Greg and I originally wrote, called Don't Tell Larry, that we made with Kyle Kennedy as Larry. And as we made the web series, we really developed the characters during that process. And after we were done doing the web series and got a lot of great feedback on it, Greg and I just wanted to go to, level up and write a feature-length screenplay and make it with Kyle. And so we wrote the script and then raised funds independently, and then got a casting director to help us get people like Ed and Dot Marie Jones.
Yeah.
How did you convince them to jump on board? That's the main thing. They say that half of directing
is lying,
or maybe 25% if you've got like two. Half of directing is casting. If you've got two directors, maybe 25% each. But
yeah,
how do you determine that? How do you sell them on jumping on board?
We got really lucky in that our casting director Ricky Masler, when she sent over the script to Ed's agent and Dot's agent, they read the script and it was the script that spoke for itself. Ed contacted us after reading the script, being like, "I want to do this," and John and I are like pinching ourselves. Wait, and we're saying like, "Wait, like Ed Begley Jr. like, first of all, read what we had written, thought it was funny enough that he wanted to do it, and is now like calling us to say that he wants to do it." It was a very surreal moment. So we were very lucky in this case too that they just responded to the script. The script's not for everyone, not every script's for everyone, but the fact that they resonated with it, and the fact that Ed was on our short list for people who wanted to play his role, and Dot was on the short list for people who wanted to play her role. It was really awesome for John and I to have him come on board. Yeah.
How about we take a look at the trailer together, and then we will answer questions from our audience.
Great.
I've got the trailer queued up right here. Here we go.
Am I a bad person? Sometimes. Thank you, but let me finish. If I don't invite the weird new guy to Bruce's surprise retirement party tonight.
Want you two to get close, but not in an intimate way.
I'll get as close as possible without being intimate.
No. Okay.
Why wasn't Larry at my party?
Bruce Waters didn't want me invited to his own surprise party.
Huh?
This is all Bruce Waters' fault.
Yep.
Thank you both.
Oh my God, Bruce is dead!
Larry, please tell me you didn't kill Bruce.
What? Me?
You have to put Larry in jail.
We don't have evidence.
That's so crazy.
We need to get Larry fired.
Someone's getting fired for smoking a joint in the office, so we're gonna drug test you. What? If you get any of this on me, I will kill you.
What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Behind my back? Beer without me?
Oh, no. Oh my God.
There you go. Is it just me, or does that smell a little like pee?
No.
No, it's you.
Okay, just checking.
No.
Someone is messing with me. If someone tried to mess with one of you, my best friends, I'd kill that person.
Is it just a coincidence that all this bad stuff is happening in the office this week?
This wasn't coincidences.
Then what was it?
Karma. Please, don't be such a worrywart. There's still plenty of time for Bruce to learn his lesson as he fell from the window to the ground. 2,000, 3,000. Yeah. Had enough time.
All right, that looks like a lot of fun. Is it when is it coming out?
So it's coming out Friday, June 20th, in 2 days. It will be in theaters in Los Angeles at the Laemmle Town Center in Encino, as well as the Laemmle Royal in West LA. And it'll also be playing in a few cities in the Midwest. So like right outside Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, and then I believe Seattle as well will be a screening there. So it's a limited theatrical, but if everyone else can go to Amazon and Apple, it's available there to rent or buy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have questions from our audience right here. Alan, anything before we go to audience questions?
Nope. Go right. Get those.
Alan's the comedy expert. But he has no questions.
I know,
Alan.
I had to pee. I'm sorry. It's
well,
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
the
You gotta go.
trailer
Yeah.
Has a urination. All
I know.
right.
Lord Thoth, I'm in.
Yes, Lord.
I love that
Thoth.
question.
Yes.
A gaslight comedy. It is, Patrick. It is.
Yes, Patrick Lemire. Yeah, gaslight comedy. Let's see. Scooby-Doo meets Office Space.
Kinda, yeah.
We said we did do like a game night meets Office Space, or if Office Space was done by the Coen brothers, is some feedback we've gotten before.
Like if real death was happening during The Office. How big was the crew? It was a small crew.
At any given day, I think on set there was about 30 to 35. About.
Where did you film?
We filmed
Dallas,
in Dallas,
Texas.
Yeah, Dallas,
Wow.
and around the area. Craft services was okay. It was during COVID, so we couldn't really be near each other. We were all like sitting far apart. We were still socially distant, so we didn't have the camaraderie of enjoying our crewmates while we ate. We kind of just all ate and would like yell across the room to, let each other know what's going on.
What was the red tape like in Dallas at that time?
It wasn't horrible. Honestly, I think a lot of it is more on our end, just like adhering strictly to SAG guidelines. This was like early on or it's midway through the pandemic, but it was specifically the Omicron wave was like very high. It like coincided exactly when we were starting. And so we were testing every single day.
Per the SAG guidelines.
Yeah.
Is there a popcorn bucket? I wish there was.
There should be. We do have a gift. We do.
Oh, you're cutting out there.
He's breaking down.
It's all good.
I know, but we all want it. That's all.
That's behind me right now.
Yeah,
Alan, if you would read the comment for the people listening.
Okay,
to
David
this
B.
show.
Cutting a comedy movie is the hardest movie to cut. Timing is everything.
I would agree with David B. Greg and I spent 4 months cutting this movie, and I think too because comedy is also hard because it's also based on like your preference, because not everybody loves dark comedy. So a lot of it had to do with making sure things like it hit for Greg and I, and then we had test audiences, like people we trust, that we would test the scenes on them. But it was a challenge. I mean, there were times where we would show scenes to people and they're like, huh? And we would just retool it and until we got barrel laughs. But yeah, I agree. It's very difficult. I've, in the past, I work a lot as an editor, so I've done a lot of drama films in the past, and those are easier because you're just focusing on emotion to cut. And then for comedy, you're still cutting for emotion, but sometimes things have to be like quicker, but you can't go too fast or else people don't catch things. So it's hard. I mean, I love doing comedy. But doing another one, it's like, oh man, I gotta roll up my sleeves to get ready to do another one.
Yeah.
Warrior Justice for 2. This is my first stream, Mr. Allen and Mr. Al Gore.
Thank you. Thank you, Warrior of Justice.
Let's see. Ejecta Curtain. Hey, Dallas represent.
Dallas is like coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of people are shooting there.
Oh yeah. Patrick Lemire, did you have any permitting issues? Was it
no?
So will you be making your next film here in LA?
That's a great benefit.
I want to. Greg, we can't hear you. Oh.
You just need a lot of money.
Any better? Is this any better?
Lord Thoth, how do you
Hello?
cast your actors? You're on a delay, it looks like.
You're out of sync.
Yeah.
Maybe turn your camera off and on. I don't know.
It's all good. Here we go. So, Lord Thoth, how did you cast the actors? They look great.
We had we knew Kyle Kennedy and we knew Patty Guggenheim because they are main cast members with the Groundlings. And so when we were trying to find our Patty, Kyle, we went through the casting process, and our casting director, Ricky Maslar, helped us out a lot. But Kyle kept saying, like, hey, look at Patty. She's funny. Look at Patty. She's funny. So eventually when we looked at her, we were like, oh, my God, this is a no-brainer. We have to do this movie with Patty. And, she was a lot of fun to work with, and she absolutely nailed the character in the movie. And, I don't think we would have had a movie without her.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Greg, Porper, John Schimke. Your parents named you to be in comedy. I think
that's true.
Pretty
For
clear.
your family.
Yeah.
Your ancestors.
Our families did, yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, your families did. So, congrats to you guys. The movie opens this Friday in limited release and on Amazon, Apple, all the things. Congratulations. Thank you guys so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
There we go. Alan?
Yeah, I was just looking for a good time to pee, and
That was a perfect time, right in the middle of an interview. It was really great.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. We will be back on Friday with an in-depth review of Elio, both with spoilers. We will talk 28 days later. There's some other movies opening like Brideheart. We'll be back. Sorry for the shorter show today, but between reviews this weekend, next week we got Ironheart. We will review all episodes, and there will be spoilers
next week.
I expect there'll be an episode that will be the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Any predictions, Alan?
I dearly hope so.
The best recipe for a good show is a little bit of Chris Gore and a pinch of Alan Ng. Bon appetit, Film Threat fans.
See, look at that endorsement, not fake at all.
Not at all.
And you can count on when Alan sees a new movie from Disney, he will speak his mind.
Yeah, we hate everything.
Isn't that true, Alan?
That is true. We hate everything.
Cool.
That's at least what the comments tell me.
Yeah. Oh, wait, some last minute. Here we go, right here.
Warrior Justice for 2, more like Pelio movie is trash.
Yeah, well, thank you. Your first stream. That's right. And also, thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid. I see you guys on X. Love chatting with you and love that you're here. Makes the show fun. We'll be back Friday with reviews. Also, thanks to Atomic Lori Clanuccio. Thanks to everyone who sent in a super chat. Thanks to everyone who watched the show today and was very kind about me being late. I was late. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Anything
all I
you
know
want-
is when we say we're going to do a short show, we do a short show.
Yeah.
Penis dick.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, look, just don't put a penis on a dick or a dick on a penis. Think about it. Yeah, it has to make sense. There has to be a reason
about
behind it.
the designs of the characters from Elio.
Yeah. And then when you have the penis dick, put it in the lower third or the upper third of the screen.
That might be one of the best straight lines you've ever said. But thank you, everyone. We'll be back on Friday. Appreciate all of you. Alan?
Let's get out of here.